Hi, Dr. Erica L. Coleman here. Yeah, a little dressed up today. I was out with a friend earlier today, at lunch, had a beautiful lunch, had a beautiful to walk off that lunch. And actually I've been trying to um videotape something for a friend of mine who asked me to do a promo for her. And I tell you, for the last few hours, I've been, working on trying to do a minute and a half, between a minute and a minute and a half, and it's not going so well. I've been doing take after take after take, and I promised her that I would have it done by today because, I've got the makeup, I've got the hair thing going on, but I'm not so sure if I'm going to have this done today. I may just have to do this makeup thing all over again, which I don't want to have to do. But anyway, I want to talk about something that some people may don't take this the wrong way. I was really excited to see Justina Wilson, who was the sign performer for Rihanna at the Super Bowl, and girlfriend was killing it. But I'm a bit confused now that I've seen the video, and you can go on YouTube and see the video of her interview on The View. And she identifies as deaf, and yet she can hear. I'm really confused about this, and I'm saying this as a mother of a deaf autistic son. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Not unless she has a cochlear implant, I'm not understanding how she was able to. She talks very clearly, and she said that that was speech. Okay, but if you're deaf, how is it that you can hear words and pronounce words like she can? I'm not being saucy here. I'm just trying to understand. I've been around the deaf community for almost 3 decades now. And, when she was doing her performance, well, you have to hear the music, or maybe you just know the words. Okay, I'll give it that. But then sitting around the table with all the women from The View, and no one's interpreting for you, but you're calling yourself deaf. There's a difference between deaf and hard of hearing. Now, and they are saying, okay, she's the first deaf person to perform at the Super Bowl. But I don't understand how she's deaf. Hard of hearing, yes. Deaf, no. And I haven't really looked at um some of the conversation that's been going on in the deaf community about this, which I need to, you know. But I am just saying that I am just very confused. I'm not trying to take anything away from Justina Wilson whatsoever. But they're saying that that she is deaf, her mother is hard of hearing. I would say that this is the opposite. That her mother is deaf, even though I haven't met her mother and I haven't seen her mother. I'm just I'm confused, extremely confused by this young woman who is saying that she is deaf and yet she can interpret, um not interpret, but I mean I understand the performance and the whole 9 yards, I'm confused. I'm just very, very confused. Because according to her, okay, your speech doesn't make a difference about the level of how well you can talk. She said because there are some people who are profoundly deaf who can talk very well, and then there are people who have a little deafness and cannot talk. I don't understand that at all, at all. So, more power to Justina Wilson. She did an excellent job, but I think that that interview caused more confusion um than it did. I think that it did a disservice to the deaf community. Once again, this is just like Heather Whitestone. Now, to Justina's credit, she did sign, to her credit, because that was one of the problems that was brought up about Heather Whitestone, who was the first deaf and probably only deaf Miss America, was that she did not sign. um I do remember her beautiful performance. I think she did a dance. And you said, how is that possible? Well, they can feel the music. So that I get. But I'm sitting here looking at Justina Wilson, and I'm like, I'm confused, sweetheart, because I don't see how you are deaf now, unless I didn't see a cochlear implant, and that's that device that they can put in people, attach to people, so that they can, the sound is amplified. If you have some hearing, then you get a cochlear implant, and that I can see because then that amplifies your hearing. And people who have cochlear implants, they do have, because they have some residual hearing. So then if she got a cochlear implant, but I didn't see any evidence of that. But if she does have a cochlear implant, that should have been mentioned. It should have been mentioned. So again, I'm just a little confused. Um, and I need to look into this some more, especially as a mother of a profoundly deaf, autistic son. I just don't like the misinformation. I just don't like the misinformation. And how they are touting this woman out. So then it's like, it gives a one size fits all. It gives a very, very skewed impression of what deafness is and what it's like for people who are deaf. I understand about the whole thing about impaired and not wanting to use, because language does matter. Anyway, um, that's all I have to say. I am happy for Justina Wilson and the attention that she's getting, but I do think that it's doing a disservice to the deaf community. And this is what happens with marginalized communities. This is Dr. Erica L. Coleman signing off. Good night.